Hi, my name is Aubrey Hillis. I'm currently in the sunny state of California, and I get to be part of a group of young women who are doing research on sexual politics. I chose the subtopic of beauty standards that are placed on women within the United States because it's something I personally I relate to. Throughout my youth, I spent a lot of time crying, and I still do, because I didn't feel good enough for our culture in America, based just on the way I looked. Exposure to this culture actually begins when you come out of the womb as a human, and I think for all women, we have that one role model who's impressed upon us these cultural standards, whether or not they meant to. Now, that could be a mother, a sister, a grandmother, an aunt, a cousin. Honestly, any woman that came into your life who you possibly watched putting on makeup. And of course, as we watched them put on makeup, we began to kind of mimic what we saw being done. And through the act of imitation, these standards just became a norm. And it began a lifelong journey of us trying to conform to what society has defined as beautiful long before we were even born. No, I don't speak from knowledge of statistics or science, but rather more of just experience. As a young child, I remember sitting there with my mom and my fake little makeup bag and pretending to put on makeup while she put on real makeup and just wanting to be so much like her. And I think a lot of young women can relate, or just anyone that has memories of those impressionable, or being that impressionable child when and you saw an older woman put on makeup. Memories of my grandmother putting lipstick on in the car and wanting to do the same, even though that lipstick shade was awful. But it was still something I began to look forward to as I got older, and I wanted to do. And then throughout the course of my life, it just became something I had to do in order to feel like I could go out in public. I think there are a lot of women who will agree with me on this. And if you think back to the first time you saw makeup and how old you were and what exposed you to it, it probably wasn't someone saying, "Oh my God, you need makeup," but rather just a woman of influence in your life. I still remember the smell of my mother's makeup. Awful smell, but it attaches itself to these memories I have of her and I spending time getting ready together. So why is it so important that we as women wear makeup? It's not really good for our skin. I've had Avon and Mary Kay reps tell me that if I didn't wear makeup, I would expose my skin to pollution, which I'm from Kentucky and there's not much of a problem with that, but if I was in California or New York, I could see that, But they tried to manipulate me into believing this, so I would buy this product that was actually worse for my skin than probably the pollution alone. I think they claimed it had some sort of oxidizers or antioxidants that prevented the oxidizers of pollution in bigger cities, when in reality it was just clogging my pores and putting more dirt into my face than simply wearing like sunscreen or a toner. And if we're being honest, makeup is not good for our self-esteem. The fact that we feel the need to hide our face and resort to makeup already proves it isn't helping much. Or it's not instilling any self-worth. According to a recent NBC News report, a study of 2/3 of women believes that facing the world without makeup is more stressful than the first date or a job interview. And those are very high stress situations for women. And I'm not excluded from that 2/3. If I even went to a job interview or on a first date without makeup, well, goodbye, second job interview or second date. So why is it women feel so reliant on makeup, and that this trait has been passed on through generations? I've got 3 theories regarding this, and I want to lay them out for you. My first theory is because it is a ritual practice. Major marketing and media companies, they really take advantage of it. It allows them to be able to invest in the molding of ideas of the younger generations, and in doing so, they prolong this cycle. We pass along to our children and their children and just so on and so forth. Now, Nancy Etkoff, a psychiatrist and author, told a journal known as The Economist that mimicry is often the goal of the beauty industry. We see a lot of examples of this on like popular TV shows such as Toddlers and Tiaras, and it's these little girls who put on pounds of makeup to look like a porcelain doll or look like an adult woman, which it's a toddler beauty pageant. It's for toddlers. But why is it that even the fact makeup is impressed upon us at such an early age, the beauty industry is still seeking to redefine the standard of beauty, seasonally even? The first answer, of course, is pretty obvious. There's a pretty fat paycheck involved. But how they do so plays kind of into my second theory of why things haven't changed for generations amongst women. And according to scientist/author Court E. Patterson, it's human nature to be competitive. I believe it is through this competition that women seem to have against each other that leads us to trying to alter ourselves to match trends set by media. And I'm going back to that previous quote of, mimicry is what is fueling the beauty industry. It's what they rely on for their paycheck. I want to be just like her, so in order to get that look, I'm going to put makeup on my face. But then it's a competition of who can wear it better and who can wear it best and who attracts the most people with this and is willing to be the boldest with this look. And whoever does that ultimately wins. And so by continuing this competition, we continue to allow the media to shape the definition of beauty quarterly or as they decide to produce seasonally new trends. So here's my third and final theory for the reason the beauty industry is thriving. As women, we are handing them the power to tell us we aren't good enough. This might sound off the wall, because I'm sure many of you grew up with tabloids and still live by them to this day, and that's why you don't feel good enough, but you got it. You're the one that's allowing them to shape that perspective of yourself. One day I'm included in this, decided to not share the experiences of our lives with others, and that was through hiding freckles from the sun or laugh lines from years of smiling, because we didn't want to share that part of ourselves with other people. In doing so, we took a small step towards shutting, but probably a few people, out from the person we really were. And the moment we decided to do those little things that hid our uniqueness, because we didn't feel they were good enough for those few people, it was the same moment we handed our culture the power to tell us that we weren't good enough naturally for masses of people. So, of course, I'm not going to give you these theories without some solutions. If you're wondering how do we take back this power, how do we stop feeling insecure without putting clay and powders on our face, and how do we break these habits from generations and past practices, it comes down to my first solution is to realize we don't have anything to hide. We all live unique lives that define us for who we truly are, and we have to learn to embrace that. I'm on this road with you. We need to recognize that the scars, the freckles, the moles, the wrinkles, the birthmarks, the blemishes, it all connects us deeper on a level than if we were carbon copies of each other. It's what connects humans that should define beauty. Things that make up our uniqueness, our ability to forgive, to love, to sympathize, to have passion for, and the list just goes on. How many times have you ever been able to sit down and trade stories with someone over a scar? If you think back, you could have lost a lot of those moments or even relationships had you chosen to completely hide that scar from them that day. It's what connects us on a personal level. I have scars on my face from where I was attacked by a dog pretty early in life. And when I try to hide these scars, I try to mask a part of what makes me who I truly am. It was hidden for a few years, and now I just think it's cool because, hey, it's what makes my face unique. Amongst other things, it still separates me from my doppelgangers. So my second solution to help take back this power is to live a life in a way that you consider to be something that shouldn't be hidden. And by that, I mean, I've talked about how we're so unique and that we have these passions, but pursue them. Pursue your passions. Help others. Give back to nature. Laugh with people a lot, and never stop exploring. Spend time with those you love, and never quit chasing dreams. Give yourself that reason to wake up in the morning and realize that that reason is enough for you to be considered beautiful. Don't let someone tell you you aren't good enough, because you've created a life that is so uniquely you. I think in doing so, you will find that who you become, the word beauty doesn't even begin to define it. The goal here is so that one day, when a little girl is watching you get ready, what she is mimicking isn't how to apply mascara, but rather how to make a difference in the world and how to create a better place for her generation and future generations. And you can do that just through being honest with yourself and with those around you and everyone you meet. It's time we teach the girls of the future how to define life based on their opinion of the world and not the world's opinion